Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Globetrottin ADs podcast, a worldwide podcast for athletic directors, activity coordinators, coaches, and program associates based in international schools throughout the world. My name is Matt Fleming, and I will be one of your co-hosts for today's program.
And my name's Nick DeForest. In episode 2, which is our first real episode, I guess, we are going to talk about the reception received from episode number 1 and welcome our first guest, Jonne Karanko from IS Helsinki.
Yeah, it was great. We had some positive reception and feedback of the first podcast, so many thanks to all the ADs we met up with in the NIAAA conference in Maryland. It was great to meet everybody, hear about their stories and what they had to offer for the first podcast. We had some nice retweets as well from the NIAAA folks spreading the word. We had a shout out from Beyond the Bench guys. So just really thankful for folks spreading the word about the podcast. We've had lots of offers and ideas, many people offering to be guests, retweets and sharing of the link. And I think the most helpful comment we got
it was a great a great suggestion from a few people, I must say. A bit nicer than others. But if you go to the webpage after you're done listening to us, you'll see a new profile picture of myself. So thanks for all the people that thought I needed a friendlier face.
I would say it was a definite upgrade. Yeah.
Well, I was going professional, Matt. You didn't want to do the selfie, but clearly your way was a lot better. So.
Well, just be sure to. Yeah, just burn that picture, whatever you did with it. And also, we want to give a special thanks to our new sponsor, who we'll give you some information about a little bit later, Coach
very
Evaluator.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So this week, our guest is Jonne Karanko. He's a Finnish national, and we'll hear from Jonne in his role at his school, at the International School of Helsinki. He'll be talking to us about his role as being an international school AD who's from the host country of where the international school is located. And he'll also give us a sneak preview and some information about the CEESA conference, which will take place in Helsinki in March, and some local specialties that will be taking place.
Before we get to Jonne, let's introduce our new sponsor.
Coach Evaluator is the premier coach evaluation software for schools and athletic organizations and preferred coach evaluation solution of the NIAAA and the Positive Coaching Alliance. The system is completely customizable with an always growing evaluation template library for athletic directors to reference. Coach Evaluator offers a built-in workflow tracking each coach evaluation from start to finish, including document uploads and email notifications. There are not only evaluations for ADs to use, but also self-evaluations and parent-player evaluations of coaches. There is built-in detailed historical reporting allowing the athletic director to analyze their coach's performance over time. Learn more about digitizing and simplifying your coach evaluation process by visiting www.coachevaluator.com. Mention Globetrottin ADs to receive a $200 discount on the yearly rate. All right, welcome Jonne.
Okay, thanks.
Hey Jonne, with all of our guests, we'd like to start off with just a bit of a profile and have you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and where you are right now, where you've been before, and kind of how you got into the AD job.
Okay, so with Matt's introduction, I work at the International School of Helsinki. And I pretty much worked there since university. I also did my teacher training there. And it's my 22nd year going currently. Oh. And working as a PE teacher first full-time, then starting to develop our activities and athletics program from scratch. And 2004, we joined CEESA. And 3 years ago, we formed with a couple buddies from the Nordic region. We formed the Nordic League. So my background is international, so I wouldn't want to call myself a non-international because I'm a third culture kid. When I was 9 months old, we moved to Africa and lived there for about 6 years. a little bit over 5 years in Tanzania and Zambia. And then I came back to school in Finland and started school here. And then we moved to Sri Lanka in the 80s and lived there for a couple of years. And then came back to Finland, stayed here for another 3-4 years before high school. And then I went to do a 1-year exchange in Minnesota. Kind of wanted to explore the sports culture there, and also just to get a vision about the American high school, and graduated from there. And then came back and year after graduated from Finland as well. So that's kind of my background from schooling. And then university-wise, I studied in 3 different universities in Finland, and then also in De Montfort University in the UK. So that's the university education, and then did my teacher training at the International School of Helsinki, and kind of got a job through that experience, and also them seeing that I was really keen on working there. Why I wanted to become an international educator is probably because of my background, being going to international schools and kindergartens and American high school, British University, and also coaching, playing a variety of different sports when I was growing up, and still continuing to train and exercise on a regular basis.
Wow, so you really are an international person, and I think in a unique situation how international you are, but being in your home country and teaching at an international school.
We actually have quite a few international schools in Finland, but we are the only kind of money school where you actually need to pay to. All the other IB schools in Helsinki area and other parts of Finland, they are pretty much government schools and free. And then there's also in Helsinki area, there's quite a lot of competition. There's also a Russian school, a Finnish-French school, German school, European Union school, and a few other specialized schools, like one comprehensive school that does the A and O levels for the UK system.
Right.
Jonne, I just want to backtrack for a second. With your experience as a kid growing up, as a third culture kid, so growing up as a non-national in other countries, when you came back to Finland, was it difficult for you to adjust to get back into Finnish society or back into the Finnish school system as a kid? What was that like?
Yeah, of course, transformation is hard as a child, especially I would say in the 80s when there was no internet. So the world was much larger. Now it's much smaller because you can keep in touch with people. So of course it was hard to leave your friends knowing that the next time you will talk to them or see them will be the summer holidays a year after. So it was hard, especially as I would say more upper elementary and teenage years. And that's probably also why it's kind of easy to step into international school world to teach and educate children, because you kind of understand the social emotional issues that they're dealing with on daily basis.
So that's good. It kind of gives you a leg up in a school like yours, is having lived through that yourself.
Yeah, living the same kind of life, and also when you are somewhere, let's say posted with your parents in their suitcase, you tend to stay there for 2 to 3 years and make new friends and possibly even learn a new language at the same time. And then when you come back to your home country, you gotta kind of resettle and pack your bags and go again.
Well, it seems like you have or had no problem adjusting to an international school, obviously because you went to one and are so international. But being an AD in your home country, have you had any problems because you're a local? You know, maybe teachers moving in, American teachers moving in per se, and seeing a Finnish person as the athletic director. Have you had any problems with that?
I wouldn't see it as a problem. Of course, personalities, chemistries can sometimes be challenging, but I wouldn't see it as I wouldn't see it as a problem. It's just kind of learning to know people, coaches that are working with you, and kind of thinking of it as every single educator is beneficial for the children and students we teach, because they bring their own insight and kind of personality into the teaching. And that's very important, because we want to also educate our youngsters to get to know and get along with different types of people.
Right.
Yeah. So as a local Finn, you've been there a long time, and you've seen the program grow quite a bit over the years. So do you think is it easier now, or was it hard at the beginning, or what are some of the growth issues you've gone through in your school? And has being a local helped that process?
Definitely, it's helped a lot when I'm not like full-time teaching anymore. So I've been able to like kind of balance my job and negotiate it so that I still teach, which is pretty much my profession. And I love those moments when I can teach a couple lessons a week, and it keeps my profession going. But at the same time, then the AD work, there's much more time and space for it as well. Plus also distant work days, which are available or possible in Finland for any teacher, because we don't demand teachers to stay on campus when they are planning their lessons. So pretty much if you're done at 1 o'clock on Friday, you can go home. You don't have to stay on campus and do your planning there. You can go home or do it in a nearby cafe or start your weekend early.
That's not bad. I think I think I've called you a few times, Jonne, where you've been already gone for the day. Do you work every day of the week?
Yeah, of course. Of course, AD work is pretty hectic, okay. And of course it changes. Sometimes there are, you guys probably know, when you don't host tournaments, you have a little bit more time to think and then plan ahead. But then when you're hosting, it's pretty much 24/7 work.
Sure.
Getting the tournaments up and running.
So that's a pretty unique situation you have with those Finnish labor laws and the flexibility they give teachers and educators who work in these schools. Do you feel that's an advantage?
Definitely, yes. I've actually kind of calculated it roughly. So if I'm, let's say, on a given day, like Monday, for example, that's pretty hectic email traffic usually. After the weekend, there's a lot of mails coming in and out. So if I would actually answer the emails at work, I wouldn't be able to finish them in one day. While versus when I'm home, I'm probably working about 3 times more efficiently because no one's knocking on your door. So it's just the efficiency is better that way when you are able to work what you function the best. Of course, there are some people that function well, multitasking, so that they're able to work wherever in an open office environment or open classroom environment, and just plug out and maybe put your earphones on or something like that. But great way of appreciating teachers and giving them trust in what they're doing, and educators in general.
Yeah,
a bit of a bonus for sure. Now,
sure.
You had no problem adjusting. Obviously, you know the local language. But Matt, I wonder what it was like for you. Coming to Hungary, not speaking the local language. What it was like that way? Do you have any drawbacks, or did people look at you differently when you came in there?
Yeah, it was a lot different situation for me because I was coming from as an expat as well. I was coming from a smaller school and into a larger school, so that was probably the biggest challenge, was differences in programming. What was going on in my previous location in Latvia, which was a school of about 225 kids coming to American School of Budapest here, where it's about 900 students total from K through 12. I think that was the biggest challenge, was it wasn't. It was more of an issue of frequency versus quantity as well. So that was a huge challenge for me. But being a local, non-local, it's different here because I'm fortunate to have an assistant who's Hungarian and can speak the local language and has the contacts with the referees and with the maintenance folks and everything I need to do on a day-to-day operation to make things run smooth.
Right. I think that would be the norm, right? For an expat coming in to have a local assistant or someone in the office that can make those calls for you. Jonne,
Yeah.
do you have an assistant or maybe an expat assistant?
No, I actually don't. But we've kind of divided. So at least the lower school, we have two coordinators who operate the lower school clubs. So I'm only dealing with upper school. But regarding assistance or secretarial help, the only thing I have is, of course, obviously paying invoices for flights and different things. But all the reservations and other than that, I make myself.
I mean, I think that's a huge bonus for me. I mean, I've been in Austria 20 years and speak German, so I can talk to local vendors. I can look up things on local websites and talk to our maintenance guys. But I'm also in an office of 5 people. 3 speak German and 2 don't. So I think if we don't have that resource, it could be pretty isolating in a country.
Definitely, yeah.
Sorry, Jan, I'm fascinated by this the Finnish labor laws. I think they're amazing. I know we've talked in the past about this. There's a policy for a leave of absence that you're eligible for as a Finn, and of course it applies to your workplace there as well. You can take a leave of absence for a period of time. Can you explain to the audience a little bit about that policy and how it works and what your plans are?
Yeah, well, basically, when you work you can take a unpaid sabbatical pretty much any time. And then when you work for 20 years, the government kind of steps in and pays part of your salary for a maximum of 180 days. They pay 70% of your salary as a kind of a reward for working long term. Mm-hmm. And I've been planning now to take my kind of semester off next, starting from actually this December.
Oh, wow.
2020, and then staying on for the second semester. And just kind of doing other things that in the hectic 80 world are not always so possible. And traveling around a bit.
You must have traveled quite a bit already, Jonne. How many countries do you think you've been to?
Oh, currently?
Yeah.
I think I'm on my 90 right now, so wow. Closing up to 100.
Wow. And we're talking here just into the new year. Where were you over Christmas break?
Oh, I just went to Vietnam and Cambodia and then Qatar.
Nice. And
then spent New Year's in nearby Stockholm.
Now he's going to run out of countries.
That's also a great part when you meet people. Like in Vietnam, I have visited a former AD from Anglo-American School of Sophia, so I got to meet her and her husband and stay at her place while they were gone on holidays. So it was a pretty cool way of experiencing Saigon.
Jonne, you've been there so long, 22 years, and Matt and I have both been in our schools for quite a while. Is it annoying at all when new teachers come in maybe each year and they just don't know the local culture or don't know the way you do things at ISH? What's that like for you?
Well, I don't think it's annoying. I think it's actually probably part of the good thing of an international school that there is a transition. Versus if I would work in a Finnish school, I would pretty much teach with the same people for 30 years.
Right.
There's not a lot of change in Finnish schools. Not a lot of transition there. We actually are pretty steady, our school. We don't have that much transition at all currently. So normally the foreign hires that come in, they have benefits. So they have a housing benefit and a flight benefit for maximum of 5 years. And after that, if they don't have a connection to Finland, they'll leave or maybe leave after the 30 or so. But there have been quite a few that have decided to stay just because the life in Finland is so well organized, and there are good labor laws, and teachers have rights in Finland, and they are trusted as educators.
Yeah, we don't have much turnover at our school either. A lot of people retire, but I think Matt, you have a lot of new teachers each year. Hey, do you have a problem with that?
I'm not really sure what the percentage is, but we have a good mix. We got some people here who've been here quite a while, myself included, probably, I suppose, because we've been here about 12 years. But then you get other folks. They do their 2-year commitment, and then they move on to another location. So I'd say it's a bit of a mix here, but it's a good place to be here long term as well. I don't think we get those really cool labor laws that apply for Jonne. I could take a leave of absence here from my job, but it's not a guarantee I'd get my position back, and I wouldn't be supplemented for my missed time or for any pay. It'd be unpaid for sure.
Yeah, same with us. Yeah. Well, I have one last question, maybe tough to answer, but if you were running the school and you had a choice, would you hire an AD that's from your host country, like you, Jonne, or bring in an expat like yourself, Matt, or maybe bring in a foreigner but someone who speaks a local language like myself? What do you think? What's best, or does it matter?
I think it really depends. It depends on the circumstances. Like, is the country like bilingual or trilingual? In Finland, it's not usually a problem because pretty much everyone speaks English. Of course, if you want to negotiate better deals, it helps to know Finnish, and so you have a connection network within Finland for different sports facilities and activities, places, and you kind of know where to ask from.
Right.
And then if you work in, I would say, in a maybe Eastern Bloc country, it might be good to have in the activities and athletics office someone who speaks the local language. Is pretty essential, I would say, in, for example, Russia, because of the visa issues and very technical things that you need to know.
Right.
And you need Russian language to know that.
Well, that's a great answer, Jonne. Thanks for giving us the insight about your position as a local person working in an international school in the host country. I think we're pretty fortunate in our CEESA organization. We have a good mix of people who are expats as well as locals who are working in their schools as a local person in these positions. So it's a unique insight, and thanks for giving those today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Let's take a quick ad break. If your school is in the market for bespoke sportswear, look no further than Kukri Sports. Kukri has evolved over the last 20 years from a bespoke sportswear manufacturer into a true sportswear partner, firmly believing in the value of sport at all levels. Bespoke teamwear forms a unique part of an individual's sporting story and represents a lasting link to their time in sport. Kukri are proud to play a part in that journey. Every individual can build their own legacy. Kukri Sports creates a sportswear range that inspires as well as performs. Start your journey today. Email the team at contact@kukrisports.com. Okay, so another great reason to have you on the podcast, Jonne, is the upcoming CEESA conference. And Matt and I organized the PD for ADs and coaches, but this year's conference is in Helsinki. So we just wondered if you could tell us and everybody listening what people can expect when they come to Helsinki.
Yeah, so welcome to the CEESA conference in Helsinki. I believe it's the 25th CEESA conference, so it's a bit of a celebration as well. And the theme is Future of Learning, Inclusive, Challenging, and Engaged of the conference. And it's also very, very good to have a separate program for the ADs and coaches, including Mark Hall's workshops, as well as the NIAAA. The conference will take place at the Marina Congress Center. That's located really central downtown, right next to the sea. And pretty much all the windows are visible to the sea, so it's a great venue, and the hotel for the conference is right across the street from the conference center. And we're expecting about 500 participants in total to the conference, so it's going to be pretty massive. And the AD spring meeting regarding that always takes place during the conference will not actually be taking place there, but we will take a bus about 50-minute drive from Helsinki to one of the sports institutes that Finland is very famous of. We have, I think there are probably around 12 to 15 sports institutes around Finland that are all specialized in different sports.
Okay.
So all the ADs get to see one of these purpose-built facilities.
And what are the sports specialized at this facility?
These facilities specialized in Finnish basketball national team's training center, as well as curling and rhythmical gymnastics and a few other minor sports.
So will the ADs get to try anything out while they're there, Jonne?
Yeah, we've actually planned the program so that, of course, the meeting is the main part, but then we will have also a chance to go after lunch for a little session of curling.
Okay.
And we can make some funny teams. For example, Canadians can be a team on their own if they want to. Maybe we'll form a Baltic team to compete against them.
Will the Baltics have an advantage because of their locations up there up north and the frigid temperatures? Is curling a regular thing up there?
Yeah, curling is regular, yeah, but it's not that popular of a sport from the ice sports.
Okay.
Finland's more known for ice hockey and ringette for women. They're like 6-7 times world champions in a row.
Okay. So they still play ringette in Finland. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. But hockey is catching up for women as well. So
mentioning hockey, I mean, to anyone that comes to the conference, not a CEESA AD, would there be hockey going on in the city? Any live games to watch or?
Yeah, mid-March we are in the playoff season in both KHL. There's a team that plays in the KHL, so they might be already eliminated. Who knows? But then the Finnish league should be taking place, but then it depends if they have a home game during those days. But hopefully there would be a game either on the Thursday evening or Saturday.
Okay.
With that, about how many people attend one of those games? You think, if it was a local match, not KHL?
Yeah, well, KHL it fits about 14,000.
Oh, wow.
The rink, and then the Finnish league Helsinki team has about 9,000. So it's a bit smaller.
So Jonne, with all this, all the CEESA activities going on, are you part of like a planning committee for your school, or are you like a steering committee that's helping CEESA organize things there in Helsinki?
Well, what I've agreed to be is kind of a local resource person. So I've given the steering committee some hints about keynote speakers and other workshop leaders from the Finnish educational side, as well as organizing the AD meeting, and then a few other stuff. For example, the CEESA Gala, the venue for the gala, negotiating things like that.
So you have some local Finnish folks that'll be there leading workshops. Can you tell us a little bit about that, if so?
Yeah, so we'll have a kind of a Finnish strand on Friday afternoon. So there's a possibility to know get to know what Finland's known for in the educational world. For example, tech and practical skills for like lower school students that are very, very high here, as well as business thinking into more high school level. How to incorporate business with school.
Huh. Like business education programs, or?
Yeah, it's basically this Finnish company that called TAT that has basically formed this business village for schools concept, and they have a few other things as well that they have sold to many schools around the world. So the executive director from that company is coming to run a workshop, and then one of the keynote speakers is also a really well-known Finnish lady called Linda Liukas, who has written a book about how to get more girls into the tech side, because it's very heavily male-populated industry. So she has written a book called Hello Ruby, and she'll be one of the keynote speakers. Very, very interesting person to listen to. And she also runs workshops in the conference as well.
You mentioned at the beginning the Mark Hall from 3D coaching and the NIAAA classes. And for anyone out there that's interested in coming to the CEESA conference, it's all online. It's CEESAconference.com, and that's CEESA conference.com. And we'll offer 3 LTC courses, and Mark Hall will have 4 different workshops, and the timing and everything is all there online. So if you want to come and see Helsinki, maybe see some hockey, and get some great PD, I think, Jonne, you'd be happy to welcome ADs from all over the world, huh?
Yes, indeed. Everyone's more than welcome to come and visit our country. And one bonus thing also is, if you're interested in seeing like different schools, on Friday afternoon there's going to be a couple excursions. So one of them will be to a local Finnish school that you get to see facilities that they use, why they are on the top of the ranking of the CEESA studies, what they do differently there compared to other schools and international schools, as well as also another excursion to the architecture school for children, which is a very, very interesting place.
Cool. Jonne, I have a question about the Finnish education system. It's not really related to our sport program or our activities, or it might be, I'm not sure. But one of the topics I'm familiar with or heard about in the Finnish educational system is kids who start schooling typically don't start until a little bit more later on in their early childhood years. Is that correct?
Yep, that's true. We start school at 7. There's also a preschool that starts at 6, but the mandatory comprehensive school starts at age of 7. And even then, when you start at the age of 7, the school days are really short. So the kids would normally have about 3 or 4 45-minute periods a day. So the week is very short for them. So we don't burn the kids out from the beginning. Okay. And they have a chance to do some creative learning on their own, as well as take part in after-school activities and sports clubs outside of the school.
What's kind of like the philosophy of that, or why does the educational system choose to do that?
I think it's basically because it's very, very liberal and liberal thinking, and also like even for teachers as well, it's pretty liberal, the educational model. So we don't have any kind of like accreditations for school, for example. So all the schools, they follow the curriculum in the best way that they see. And there's full trust on the educators, and they are not evaluated. There might be like once a year, there might be a talk just to see like what are your goals, personal goals, but you don't need to be assessed how you are teaching. Each individual teacher does it their way, and full trust is given on those teachers.
how does your school fit into a local Finnish school? Do you have to abide by some of the Finnish rules and regulations? None of them? All of them?
Well, we are given a little bit more flexibility. The only thing we have to obey is the 190 contact days with students. And then certain like holidays are, restricted or
Mandatory.
mandatory. So like autumn break has to be at a certain time and the winter break has at a certain time. And then the school year has to end at the end of May.
And how does that impact your sports and activity programs?
It's a little bit complicated, but mostly it works pretty well. So the leagues are pretty much balanced according to different schools, so they're able to take part. That we do CEESA, and then we also have a local kind of a Nordic international schools league that we started up 3 years ago.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, Jonne, maybe to end our session with you, to anyone that may be thinking of coming to Finland either for the conference or just as a tourist, what would you recommend? What's the food you have to eat when you come to Helsinki or Finland, or the beer or the drink you have to drink? Tell us some insider tip.
Okay, so definitely you have to try, if you come to the conference and you stay at the Grand Marina Hotel, about 5-minute walk from there is a place called Alas Sea Pool.
Okay.
So they have wood-burning saunas, as well as you can go outside and swim. There's a cold water pool that's kind of covered with ice, if there is ice at that time in mid-March. And then there's also like a heated pool, and you get to see the whole downtown area, and pretty cool experience. For the 80s, we'll go to the Sports Institute, and in the evening, you'll get to go to a proper lakeside sauna and also take a dip in a lake that's fully frozen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sauna culture, big part of Finland. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And definitely food. There are a lot of good restaurants in the downtown area. And I'm not a big meat eater myself, but reindeer, they've said it's pretty good and very, very, very healthy as well.
Okay.
Low cholesterol meat. So if you're interested in trying out some reindeer, go for that, and mashed potatoes, of course.
Yeah, I have another question about the sauna culture. I know that's a big part of Finland. Anything you can offer about that? Some background information for our listeners?
Well, sauna culture is really big here, and I would say in Scandinavia as well, like Sweden and Finland, and a little bit also in Norway. And a lot of people, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it's about 60% of Finns have access to a sauna. Like either they have it in their apartments, or they have a common sauna in their apartment building that they can, have an hour or two each week. And besides these, there are also communal saunas in different areas of Helsinki, for example, where you can go and just pay entrance and have a sauna. For example, I live here close to the harbor. There's a brand new sauna here that fits about 15 people in the men's section and women's section. There are also some saunas that are mixed, but it's not so common as in Austria or Germany, the co-ed saunas in Finland, unless it's a private sauna, then it's different. And the difference also in Finland compared to like North American saunas and people, we do actually go there naked. So that is the difference. Unless it's a communal co-ed sauna, then I think it's even mandatory to wear trunks.
So this is an activity that helps folks get through those cold, dark winters up there.
Yeah, I guess it gives them a little feeling of heat at least. Maybe not sun, but when you come to the CEESA conference, it's mid-March, so the days are getting longer then. So then there will be some sun already in mid-March.
So Matt, you threw in that question about the education system just as a ruse to get to the real what you wanted to know about Finland, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to work it in somehow.
So you don't need to pack your bathing suit when you come.
All right, Yanni, one more last super important question. One of the traditions we have in our ADAC group and our CEESA organization is to have a karaoke evening. Any particular plans or anything special for in Helsinki for the CEESA conference?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I was actually thinking maybe one idea might be to have it at the lakeside sauna when only 80s are present there. I could try to see if we could arrange a karaoke machine there.
You don't want anyone else to hear your voice, Jonne. Is that why?
And actually, a matter of fact, the karaoke is really popular in Finland. I think Finland is probably similar to Japan and China and Philippines in Europe. There is a karaoke place in every single suburb in Helsinki and downtown. Oh, wow. There's tons of places to go to, and there is actually one just behind the Grand Marina Hotel where the conference is taking place. There's a really good one within walking distance where, for example, Kimi Räikkönen goes quite often when he's on holidays here. He likes to sing as well.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely not a karaoke pro like Matt. And couldn't really answer this question, but Jonne, what would be your go-to karaoke song then?
Well, definitely, since you guys are in Finland, I would probably have to sing something in Finnish to make it sound.
Then we wouldn't know if you're doing a good job or not.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Matt?
I think I'm gonna have to go for up in Helsinki. I would say "Take Off," the Great White North.
There you go.
No, I'll have to think on that one.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Well, you were an awesome host to me when I stayed with you a few years ago, and I especially am looking forward to being back in Helsinki in a few months.
Great. Welcome.
Yeah, and I know Yanni will do a great job. He's a great host, and for those of you who are thinking of coming to Helsinki, would say definitely do it. You'll get a lot of PD wise, but also a great cultural experience, a lot of fun, and interesting place to go to for sure.
All right. Well, Jonne, thanks for being our first guest on the Globetrottin 80s podcast. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, and good luck with your podcast. Hopefully, a lot of people listen to it and read future articles there.
All right. Thanks, Jonne.
All right. Thanks again, Yanni, for his insights and information about Helsinki and his role as an AD there, and also the information he gave us about the upcoming CEESA conference. We look forward to it. Thanks again to everybody for spreading the word about the Globetrottin ADs. We appreciate it, and we look forward to the next episode and sharing more.
Yeah, and when this episode ends in a few seconds, if you want to head over to globetrottin.ads.com, you can take a look at the survey results from the International AD survey that I conducted last year. Thanks to Coach and AD magazine for including the article on their website. And I hope it's interesting and useful, and just like this podcast, hope we continue to spread the word and grow this global community.
Yeah, be sure to check it out. Some useful information there, and well done, Nick, for that survey. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, and see you next time.
Ciao.